All right, so ways to combat burnout. I would not claim to have experienced like any kind of like really extreme, intense burnout, with the possible exception of getting close to that one time at Bible school. I was over in Thailand. I was with a mission training school over there, and I was in the very first class I went over there, and they were like, we're gonna be aggressive and have a vigorous course here or whatever, right? And man, they laid the work on us. And I was also dating at the time, and with everything, with the course load, everything that was going on, it was intense. And I'd say I probably got pretty close to burnout sometimes. But fortunately, the classes were only about 3 weeks long, and then you would have a sort of a break going on a mission trip, and then you would be back into class. And so I would not say it was an extreme burnout. It was not like a vocational, severe vocational burnout, not like that. Um, that being said, of course, I have experienced, back when I was younger, I have experienced jobs that were extremely non fulfilling for me. And that has its own kind of stress that it puts on you. And, and even in more recent years, sometimes there have been um, I've not maybe been burned out in my job as a whole. Maybe there have been certain challenges for certain accounts or things like that that have put some stress on me. So anyway, here are some ideas on how to avoid burnout, how to get rid of burnout, or if you are experiencing it. So I think probably the first thing to just think about is this idea that burnout is probably, it may not be from doing, well, let's say there's two main causes of burnout. One is doing too much, and the other one is doing the wrong thing or doing it the wrong way. So um, just sheer volume of activity, even if it's something that you, for the most part, you love, I think it is possible for that to create burnout. And some people are just oriented, whether it's something about people pleasing or just have mega goals and aspirations, whatever the case may be. Sometimes people just do too much. They just have to throttle back. Um, and I kind of feel like if you are one of those people that does way too much for way too long, like your throttling back might have to be in epic proportions. Like you might have to basically quit whatever you're doing in order to pursue getting your emotional health back. It can be pretty huge, like pretty huge. Um, Now, let's say it's not gotten to that point. Um, well, let's address the other kind of burnout that can happen. So one is doing too much. The other one is doing the wrong thing or doing the wrong way. So um, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what motivates you, what inspires you, um, what allows you to get into like the flow state where you're not focused on the time, you're not focused on exist, bigger questions about life and all that. You're just focused on the job at hand. Um, if you're not able to get into a flow state in your work, or you find your work extremely tedious or extremely stressful, um, it might be a sign you don't actually know what you thrive on. And one idea that I ran across on YouTube today was this idea that maybe burnout is not from doing too much, but it's from not doing enough of what you love. And so I think it's possible to experience a certain level of burnout even if your life is not crazy crazy busy, just because the work you're doing is not a good fit for you. It's very much a square peg round hole type of situation. And it does not fit your personality. It does not, or maybe it doesn't fit your values, or it doesn't fit your style of working. Like there's a number of different ways that something cannot be a fit. So I think this is probably the hardest when you really believe in what you're doing, you really feel like you have it's a meaningful job, it's something that is a contribution to the world, but you hate doing it, you know? And you could feel like, well, you should stay because what you're doing is so important to so many people that depend on you. But if you hate doing it, how good of a job can you really do in the end? And how long can you sustain it? The answer is probably not that long. So um, I know these are kind of first world problems we're talking about to some extent here, but I do think that God made you the way He did with the intent that you serve Him in a way that matches the way He created you and not some sort of extreme version of square peg round hole. And if you're feeling burned out, it might be a time to explore what is it that really motivates me? What excites me? What do I love to do? If money were no issue, what would I do? If saving the world were no issue, what would I do? If there was no exterior pressure on me of any kind, what would I want to do with my life? And what type of work allows me to get into a flow state where I'm not concerned about the time. I'm just immersed in the task at hand. And if you can answer some of those questions, you can probably make the switch to get into a healthier space. Maybe not all at once, maybe in bits and pieces, but you can at least start to make progress towards that goal of getting into projects and work that's more fulfilling and a better fit for you. And it can give you hope and give you hope to keep making that change and to find a life that works better for you and where burnout is not something that you're constantly on the edge of.